Yeah. So it's recording right now. We can start whenever because I can clip this out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, betting on balls.
Damn right. So when this is up, it should. We're like up here in this corner.
I need to be able to see my glasses. I can't see without my glasses. Check these. What is that? Is that Scooby-Doo? It might be.
Yeah, that's not it.
Shit. I mean, I might have to wear my shades because I don't see my glasses. I don't see my glasses. Detroit is probably going to beat Seattle. That, I would say, is pretty surefire. Detroit looks like they're legit right now. They might be the most legit.
What's up, y'all? It's Betting on Balls.
Betting on balls.
Betting on balls. I'm Harold. This is Tim. We're live. Well, no, we're not live. We're live together. What's up, homie?
What's happening, man?
Boom.
This is a one and well, no, I think we've done this before one time.
Yes. So yeah, we're jumping right into it. We're betting on some shit. I want to build a 3-leg parlay that is a surefire win. We're starting with Green Bay beating the Falcons. That seems like a pretty surefire thing.
Yeah, I think that the Falcons are pretty soft, and when they see real teams like a Green Bay, they're going to struggle, sort of. Green Bay's got good offense and defense right now. Jordan Love looks like he might be the real deal. I know we've only gotten one professional game out of the guy, but he played really, really well. And that's against the Bears defense, which is historically pretty damn good. And yeah, I think that Green Bay is definitely the favor here.
You like to say that when it's like schluck on schluck, that it can be like a high-scoring game.
Sometimes.
Do you think this might be like a high-scoring game?
No, if anything, I think the Falcons are going to try to keep up the whole time, and they're probably going to struggle against the run and Aaron Jones today. I heard that Aaron Jones might have like a little question mark, a little questionable tag, but as long as he's healthy and he's kind of able to tote the rock and keep some of the pressure off of Jordan Love, I think that the Green Bay Packers are just going to sweep here.
Hell yeah.
I would say it's probably going to be one of those situations where it's like a 28-13. Like maybe the Falcons are able to score a couple times.
Well, Vegas is
game.
seeing something different because the Falcons are favored actually by 3
I just
points.
don't. I'm not willing to buy into that yet. I don't. I know the Falcons had a good win last week, but I just don't see it. I think Green Bay is going to be a lot better.
You're also saying that the Bills to beat the Raiders, but I mean they're already favored by 8.5, so that's kind of hard to touch.
Here's the thing: like you asked me earlier before we started, what's a surefire thing? Well, I'd say your closest thing to a surefire thing is that the Bills beat the Raiders.
How about this? If the Bills do beat the Raiders, what it would take for that to happen would be
Stephon Diggs scores a touchdown.
Yes.
I think that's pretty reasonable that Stephon Diggs scores a touchdown today.
You could also do like alternate receiving
However,
yards.
I also in this game, I think that the Raiders know how good the Bills are, and they're really going to try to feed the ball through Adams today. You lean on your best guys. And so I think Adams is actually poised to have a really big day too. I think that this could be a really interesting game to watch if you like seeing receivers go out and score and do 40 yards and 40-yard gains and stuff.
Josh Allen is expected to rush 40 yards.
That I'm not crazy about.
No, I'm not touching that. But like that's what Vegas is saying. It's like a 50-50 chance almost.
And I get it. I mean, listen, the Raiders are pretty sus on defense.
I mean, dude, even Josh Allen to score a touchdown. I mean, I can maybe do that as like a separate bet. I'll probably do that.
I don't see that as like a guaranteed thing. Whereas Stephon Diggs is almost certainly going to catch a touchdown today.
Nice.
If you were to flip a coin, it's better than a 50-50 shot for sure.
Cool. So that's 2 of our 3 bets that we need for this parlay.
So the Green Bay Packers beat the Falcons.
Yep. Stephon Diggs scores touchdown.
So let's see what else is. I think that Detroit might be where we want to go for this final bit of our parlay. Although, I mean, it would be Miami, tonight is also interesting.
Miami. Oh yeah, that is
Miami
right.
and New England.
Who's Detroit playing? Seahawks. Oh yeah.
Seahawks. Now that Detroit should win pretty handily. I would think by at least a score here. The Seahawks are really struggling, and they don't seem like they're getting any better anytime soon. Whereas Detroit is certainly on the come, and they've really got momentum swinging in their favor. This could be a blowout kind of thing.
All right. So we lost $3 last week. We can bet $1 on this and get it all back plus double it
I like that.
for $1. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna get our money back and double it
Good.
for $1.
That'll make up for last week for sure.
There you go. I also wanted to do. I want to do Josh Allen scores a touchdown just because I'm crazy.
That is crazy.
I'm crazy. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, it's not. I mean, once again, it's like if you're kind of looking at it like a coin flip, then sure. I mean, I could kind of see that. I think it's a little less than a coin flip.
Dollar for $1.10. Let's go. I'm a crazy motherfucker. Don't fuck with me. I'm crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah. Hey man, betting on balls.
Betting on balls.
Fucking-
Chicago is going to be an interesting game today. And you want to talk about schluck on schluck. And what's interesting about the Chicago game is it's kind of the only real good part about Chicago right now is their defense. And the same goes for the Buccaneers. It's like they're not really shining stars on offense right now. And so, I've said it a lot, and I really do think that it makes a lot of sense, is that when you've got two defensive teams, you're going to see the ball sort of get run a lot. Like that's just sort of the way it goes when defense meets defense. I think if that's the case, if the ball gets run a lot, this could be a pretty fun game. Just maybe low scoring, maybe like a 17-21 kind of thing, like an under a 40-point spread. I would definitely go with that. If you like watching the ball get run, I think there's some potential here for Justin Fields to have a really big game. I could see him taking off and breaking that Tampa Bay coverage. They've got some decent linebackers, but I just don't know. I think that he's going to break free for a big one today. If I had to guess, he's just kind of poised to do it. Now,
Justin Fields?
Yeah. If they can't get anything going on the ground, then it might be a problem.
So you can throw 200 yards.
Yeah. I wasn't saying that. I was saying he was going to run. I think he's way more likely to run than throw for 200. If he and DJ Moore, I think is the guy they went out and got this year. If he can get it together with Justin Fields, then maybe he can throw for 200. And God knows that's what he needs. But what we've seen out of him so far, at least over the last couple of years, is that he's really good when he can take off and run with the ball.
He's projected to he's projected at about 65 yards.
Rushing, that I can get. I can totally get behind that.
60 yards?
I mean, it's high. It's really high. But at the same time, that's his game.
And even the 60-yard bet only yields 83 cents.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty rough.
The next one up would be 70 yards, which is like a lot to ask, I think, for anybody.
Well, I mean, I've seen the guy take it the way down the field.
I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just saying,
that's a hard ask. I mean, 60 is a hard ask. But I do think that he's probably one of the better rushing quarterbacks in the game. It's just that he's on such a bad team. Chicago is just so bad. I think that Tampa Bay is probably going to win this game. And I think that we're going to see maybe Chicago fall off really early in the season, potentially even tanking to get a lower pick kind of thing, especially if Tampa does win this game. I hate to write somebody out week 2, but Chicago really does seem like they're kind of in a rebuilding thing, and they're trying to get better pieces on offense. Not that they won't win any games. In fact, I'm sure that there are going to be some surprises along the way. But they definitely appear to be one of the weaker teams sort of in the NFL this year. At least after week one. We'll see. Maybe they'll get it together, but I kind of doubt it. Same thing goes with the Raiders. I think the Raiders actually won last week. Did they? I'm not sure, but they didn't look good.
Who's the quarterback on the Raiders this year?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Gross. No way.
That's pretty rough. Yeah.
No. He was why I didn't like San Francisco. I was so glad. I mean, I'm not glad somebody got hurt, obviously, but he's fine. He's good.
Yeah, they did win.
But they beat.
Who did they play? You have to look at the schedule. I had it pulled up over here, but I don't have a mouse.
Would it have been in there in the AFC West?
Yeah, they are in the AFC West, but go to games. Yeah, there you go. Now scroll up. Cowboys.
That's preseason.
No, that was
Broncos.
Broncos.
Well, anyone can beat the Broncos.
That's kind of right. and it's not like they handily won that game either. And so that was immediately kind of my first red flag was, like the Raiders might be in a little bit of trouble this year. I also noticed.
Oh, they're going to get wrecked today.
Yeah, I kind of think so. And I also noticed that Josh Jacobs in that game only averaged 2.5 yards per carry. Which, to go from the best back in football last year, which he literally, he got the rushing title last year, to 2.5 yards a carry, that's concerning. Like, that's really concerning, especially against a softer matchup like the Broncos. I think, and the Bills are most likely playing with a chip on their shoulder right now. Like, to come out and lose the first week, I'm guessing, considering that I still think I'm not backing down when I say I think they're the best team in the NFL.
Look at this hot parlay that just popped up. Almost 7,000 people have placed this bet for all 4 of these guys to score a touchdown.
I like it, except for Josh Jacobs. I think that Josh Jacobs is really struggling right now.
6,400 people are about to lose their money.
I like the first 3 parts. I think that
I got Josh Allen. I got Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs
to score a touchdown, and I think it's pretty reasonable for Devontae Adams to score a touchdown too today. But if there's one part of that is a little concerning, it's certainly Josh Jacobs to score. Not that they can't. I think people are kind of predicting Josh Jacobs to come back, but when you look at those stats from last week, it is like, ooh, like it's just there might be digression there. Maybe the Broncos are just great against the run. I honestly, I don't know if that's the case or not. I don't think that's the case. But yeah, I would just say he had a pretty concerning performance in week 1. And to put all your eggs in one basket like that, I don't know. I like Diggs to score, Allen to score I'm okay with, and I like Devontae Adams to score. But Jacobs, I don't know. And I love Josh Jacobs. Shit, man, I've had him several years in fantasy, and he's always done me right. But I don't know. They are really burning him into the dirt, sort of. Like he's getting 20+ carries a game, and he sort of has now for a while. And when you do that to a running back, it just attrition sets in, man. Like he's taken a lot of hits consistently over the last year and a half. And, his numbers have just kind of gone down. But maybe he'll bounce back.
Josh Jacobs, you said?
Yeah.
Is he playing?
Yeah.
What else is a surefire thing to happen this week? Again, it doesn't have to be a win-lose. It could be the over-under. It could be a player receptions, rushing yards, passing yards, touchdowns, field goals. Like, you can bet on fucking anything, man. This is why I love America.
Right.
Dude.
Derrick Henry is most likely going to have a monster today.
He's on the Titans, right?
Yeah, and the Chargers really struggle in general on defense. Like I've noticed that last year they were pretty good against the pass, but they have struggled against the run now for a while. And teams that can take advantage of that probably are going to take advantage of that. And if anybody's going to take advantage of that, Derrick Henry is kind of poised to take advantage of that.
So we're going to have him rush 60 yards and score a touchdown.
How much does that net you?
Let's see. Like barely break even. It's $1 for $1.
You know, honestly, I think
because he's projected to put up well over 80 yards, and the odds for him to score a touchdown is -145, which is a lower payout.
Right. Now, here's something that I'm curious about the odds on. What about Brock Purdy? You know, San Francisco. I mean, but why is nobody talking about Brock Purdy? I think that people probably should pick up on this guy listen, I'm not trying to talk Brock Purdy up like he's the next Tom Brady
or anything. The team's good.
But the team is so he's got this perfect situation around him to where he really doesn't have to be that good to be great. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is going to carry so much of the load. He's got several really good wide receivers and a tight end in Kittle.
They do have him projected at like 240 passing yards,
which is pretty reasonable.
And 2 passing touchdowns.
Which I think is very reasonable. You know, Christian McCaffrey also in this game should have a freaking monster.
Okay, yeah, so first, definitely Christian McCaffrey to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. But look, it's $1 for like 43 cents. It's like, duh.
I like Ayuk, too. Or Kittle.
Well, look, we can pair that with a 49ers money line, so they're going to win the game.
Well, dude, Kittle, the odds on Kittle, he's not even being shown. He might be your guy, man, if you actually want somebody to pay off.
Right, some value. Because even with McCaffrey and the Niners to win, it's $1 to win 73 cents. That's ridiculous.
Kittle could certainly score. Where's Kittle? He's right there.
Yeah, dude, $1 to win $2. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. See, now that's a good bet.
Yeah. Betting on ball.
Betting on ball. It's George Kittle. He's a monster. Don't sleep on George Kittle, guys. He's going to be good. And he's on a great team. They're going to spread the ball out. The tight end, especially in Brock Purdy's situation, there are going to be games where they're D'ing up on McCaffrey, and he's got to go somewhere else, you know, and Kittle's going to be that guy.
Yeah. I think people might be overhyping Ayuk because he had such a monster week last week. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I think this is a guy to definitely keep an eye on. If he has like another big game, then I'm in. Then I'm in on this guy.
Right. I get that too. I think so too, honestly. Like, let's see how it pans out because there's a lot of mouths to feed there. And, you know, that's why I just kind of see it going back to Kittle. Because usually in a situation, especially with a young quarterback, I mean, we've seen it with Patrick Mahomes now for years, the tight end sort of acts as the safety blanket. And Kittle is a phenomenal receiving tight end. He's one of the best, you know. And so it just wouldn't surprise me if it kind of went that way.
Can Cam Akers rush 40 yards this game?
I don't know. Because San Francisco defense is the best defense in football right now.
Brock Purdy, can he rush 25 yards? I believe he can. I'm going to put 50 cents to win 320. He's not like a rushing quarterback, but he runs it, man. I've seen it happen. He's going to pick up 25 yards. 50. I can spare 50 cents.
I mean,
to potentially win $3.
Right. It's a calculated risk.
It's going to happen. This is going to be like our one winning bet.
Right.
Like everything else.
Brock Purdy goes off for 25 yards.
It's not that hard given his situation.
It's not that hard.
It's going to happen.
If he does, that's great.
He will. I don't really want to touch the spreads here. No. Alternate points, total points, over, under. Any thoughts on this one? Rams and Niners. I mean, the Niners are going to steamroll the Rams.
Steamroll? I don't know. I don't know if steamroll is the right word because the Rams still have a pretty decent defense. The problem is I think the Rams are going to not be able to sustain drives against San Francisco, and it's just going to lead to San Francisco sort of being on the field a lot, and intrinsically they're going to score because they've got so many playmakers out there. I mean, Christian McCaffrey can just beat them by himself.
Yeah.
But the Rams do have some defense.
They're
not just going to quit. They're not going to give up or anything.
They should do one play. So when the Niners are up by like 24 points, they should be like, all right, y'all, call everyone off the field. Is literally just going to be the center who's going to snap the ball to Brock Purdy. So that's 2 players. And then he's going to hand it to Christian McCaffrey. And that's 3 players. So it's going to be 3 players against the full LA Rams defense. And they're just going to destroy him. They're going to destroy him. They're going to do like a fake handoff, and then McCaffrey's going to run off to the left, and he's going to toss it off to him real quick, and he's going to score like a 90-yard fucking touchdown.
It's just some weird trick play.
Yeah. They'll never see it coming.
Yeah. Nah, we've seen trick plays work before. And a team like San Francisco right now is definitely capable of doing that kind of thing. It's just like
having 3 players on the field.
What was really no. What was really interesting though last week was sort of the speed that San Francisco played with. Like it really looks like they are capitalizing on their talent, and Brock Purdy looked like he's progressed this year. Which, I mean, to go from basically nowhere and to be surrounded by that kind of team, you would certainly expect progression. But it is coming out of his hands really fast. And it just seemed like they're well coached. They seemed really ready to play and really on that first game. Which usually when a team comes out like that, that is a good sign that they're going to be one of the better teams that year.
Oh, yeah, they're going to poon.
Yeah, I think so too.
What else do you see here, man? Well, let's go back to the 1 o'clock games.
Some interesting ones for sure. Did we talk about Detroit? Yeah, I think so.
Detroit's going to slay.
Yeah. Bills are going to win.
Wait, who's going to score a touchdown for Detroit? If they're going to slay, they got to put up points, right?
Amon-Ra St. Brown. David Montgomery is probably pretty high up on that list.
He's the number 1 pick.
I like Amon-Ra as well.
Or what else is going to happen in this game that will lead them to a win? That's a surefire bet.
I would say that you definitely get 50 yards out of Montgomery today. I think that they're just going to, feed the ball through him. He looks like he's going to be
He's going to be projected higher than that, though. He's going to be 50 only yields like, what is that? 60 cents. But if you did 60, that would be a double your money bet. 1 for $1.
I mean, here's the thing. He's going to have to hit a real big one at some point to get 60 yards.
I'm taking this bet.
He's kind of a churn 'em up guy.
But it's the Seahawks.
It's possible, yeah.
It's
especially against the Hawks. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, we're taking Montgomery to rush 60 yards. And fuck it, let's go all in. He's on our fantasy team too, so let's get him for a touchdown. Mm-hmm. And pair that maybe with
Jared Goff over 200.
Yeah, but that's super low. It's minus 850. I was gonna say pair it with a victory money line bet on the Lions.
Sure.
So it's $1 win, $1.35.
Hell yeah.
I think this is totally reasonable.
Yeah, I do too.
Cha-ching! Like we're spending all our money. We got $250.
$250.
We're down to $250, y'all. You gotta pay to get.
You gotta pay what you get.
Mm-hmm. You get what you pay.
That's right. What else we got? Ravens-Bengals is one that I have been thinking about a lot this week. And I keep coming to the conclusion that this should be a Bengals victory.
I gotta pee really bad.
The Bengals should be playing with a chip on their shoulder once again, sort of just like the Bills. This is going to be a defining game for the Bengals, just like the Bills have sort of a defining game today. If Cincinnati wins this game, I think that we'll go on and we'll see kind of what we're accustomed to from Cincinnati. If they don't win this game, that is going to swing. I like that. Then everything becomes incredibly concerning for Cincinnati. Can they sustain the run? That's going to be your biggest question. Is Joe Mixon kind of at the end of his career too? Or has he still got some gas left in the tank?
So I feel like, so I love both of these teams. I think they're both great teams with huge upside potential. But week 1, they both kind of flopped around.
Mm-hmm.
each of them. Lamar Jackson didn't look great, I don't think.
Joe Burrow looks like dog shit.
Yeah, and it's like these teams to me are like they're equal in my eyes. They both have that upside, playoff potential.
Definitely.
There's no reason for either of these teams not to do that other than just, I don't know, just fall apart.
So you think that this could potentially be a big game?
But they haven't proven that this season.
Right.
Well,
here's another thing, is Baltimore's playing, I don't know if they're going to get Mark Andrews back today or not. And Mark Andrews is kind of like the Travis Kelce for Baltimore. Not to say that Mark Andrews is as good as Travis Kelce, but he's certainly one of the better players for Baltimore. And so not having him today could be the difference, sort of. I think that if Andrews plays and that if he's healthy and he's ready to go, then Baltimore's got a chance. Baltimore could definitely hang in there today. If he's not...
It says that he is expected to play.
If he's expected to play, that's good. But he's coming back from an injury. He's most likely going to be on some kind of a snap count. And he probably hasn't practiced as much as the players that are actively starting.
Let me ask you this. On our Betting on Balls fantasy... Do we run Mark Andrews over Hunter Henry?
You do. You certainly do if he's starting today. If he is going to play, I say yeah.
They think he's starting. He's expected to play.
Wait, what's this? Inactivity list approximately 90 minutes ahead of Sunday's game. So we'll know around 11:30 if he's actually ready to play or not. I would say you have to run Mark Andrews if he does play. Yeah, because he's just going to be your best option in fantasy usually. He's still, to me, the number 2 tight end outside of Travis Kelce, who's not. I don't know if Kelsey's playing this week.
How about Jamar Chase to score a touchdown?
He should.
How about this? He's a wide receiver. You never know, but we'll put 50 cents to win.
50 cents.
Because we're down to $2.50. So now we're down to $2.
Yeah, I like Jamar Chase to score.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he? T. Higgins, obviously, is he had a big fat 0 last week.
So maybe 50 cents on him too.
This guy, this guy has to have a comeback this week. Like, there's going to be calamity in the streets if he doesn't.
We'll put 50 cents on Higgins to score a touchdown too.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, that'd be cool if they both did.
Alternate passing yards.
So Burrow, okay, so in theory, right, this is the resurgence of Higgins and Chase.
He's at 275.
Burrow must have a big game today. And so if you're going to go in on Chase and Higgins, you might as well, because you're already kind of saying you are.
50 cents.
You might as well go in on Burrow as well.
To throw his...
Which maybe that's your 3-legged parlay. You just do all 3 of them in
That seems
one.
risky because they haven't proven themselves yet this year, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel pretty good about that. We got $1.
Well, we got to go with tonight's game then. Miami and New England.
I love Miami. I want to see them.
Yeah, we have to put our last buck on Miami.
I want to see them do good.
Me too. And New England, I was watching some of the footage from last night. I think that they are going to struggle today with Miami. I get it. New England's, and I have watched New England a lot. But I think that this year they are a little sus on defense. Like, especially watching that last game, I think that Miami actually has the tools to kind of take advantage of these guys. And I think that Tyreek Hill,
him to score a touchdown.
Yeah, but your odds, okay, first of all, I want to say,
it's 1-1.
It's good. But Waddle is probably, I love them both, honestly. And I think that New England is going to have a hard fucking time covering one or the other. I think that they are most likely going to double up on Hill today, and that might limit. I think he's more likely to score a touchdown than to go over 100 yards today. I'll say that. I think that they're probably going to utilize Hill in a way today that's more sneaky.
I'm putting $1 on Hill.
Whereas Waddle, on the other hand, how do you double Tyreek Hill and just leave Jalen Waddle wide open?
Yeah, Waddle's a good choice as well.
I think that Waddle is more likely to have the yardage. I think it might go that way today, where Waddle just has this huge receiving game, and
I hope so,
and Tyreek Hill ends up with a sneaky touchdown.
I hope so, because on our main fantasy league, Waddle is our top wide receiver.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't get Cheetah, so we went with Waddle.
You're just going to have... Listen, New England has to commit one way or the other. And Belichick is smart enough to just go ahead and put both guys on Hill. I mean, that being said, your third guy has to be good enough to keep up with Waddle, and that is a tough ask, man. Like, that is hard to do, and it's going to be so hard to do this whole year. As long as Tua stays... There's only... I can really only think of 2 defenses that could potentially give this team a lot of trouble. And most of them have to do with the pass rush that's there.
Feel like San Francisco, Dallas?
San Francisco and Dallas are the 2 that come to mind when giving, absolutely. When they're just kind of built to go after the passer. And so Tua, that's the big thing with Tua, right? It's like, he's one concussion away from basically like career-ending shit. And so the strategy is go after the quarterback, because it's almost impossible to guard both of these wide receivers. You just put your best guys on them and hope for the best. And then you've got to pressure Tua enough for him to make the mistake. I don't think that can happen. I mean, they're going to try. They're going to try today in New England, but I don't know if that's going to happen. And I really think, or tonight in New England, I really see Miami coming away with this handily.
I hope so. If they don't, that might speak trouble for the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too. Or New England is just better than sort of I'm giving them credit for. And oftentimes they are. Throughout the years, they've always surprised me defensively. Whereas sort of like they come out and they look pretty weak, but Belichick is such a defensive-minded coach. In fact, he may be the greatest defensive-minded coach of all time, that he can seemingly turn bad players, I hate to just call them bad players, but not quite as good players into good schemes and really utilize it and capitalize on their talent. And he's going to try to do that today, just like he always has. And I'm assuming that means that one or the other, whether it be Tyreek Hill or whether it be Jalen Waddle, one of them will be limited today. It's just hard to know which one it's going to be. It's once again, you're flipping a coin. I'm assuming he's just going to put both guys on Hill. However, it could go the other way too. I mean, Waddle's good enough to where you just do it Waddle and see what happens with Hill. It's just that historically in the past,
got a reality check.
Yeah, you've wagered $9
in the last 39 minutes.
You're getting crazy. Yeah. Historically, Belichick has sort of just let Hill go. And it's kind of bit him in the ass over the years. And so I would assume that you stop doing that at some point.
Got it. I got a problem. I get it. Thanks, FanDuel.
But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I assume that the Miami Dolphins are going to win. Yeah. Maybe they keep it close. Maybe it's by a field goal, but my heart says that it's probably going to be more like a touchdown. So I'm taking the Miami Dolphins by 6. Yeah.
I mean, they're favored by like about a field goal, so
yeah,
you can do like the alternative spread and get a little bit more value out of that.
Just a couple more games.
Yes, the Browns Steelers. The Browns got them last year. I feel like they'll get them this year. I like the Saints over the Panthers too. It looks like Vegas is seeing about the same thing.
Absolutely. I'm taking the Saints over the Panthers. Look dreadful. Literally might be the worst team. I know I kind of talked Chicago up as maybe the worst team, but the Panthers are. And then what was the other one? The Browns in Pittsburgh? Yeah, I've taken the Browns all day.
Orleans Saints, they beat the Titans last week. So, dude, they might be 2-0 after this.
Yeah, I think.
And then they go up against the Panthers, which is like the Packers.
That's maybe an interesting bet to make is I think that the New Orleans Saints will most likely win the division this year, and we'll see them in the playoffs. As far as like they seem to certainly be the strongest team in their division.
What division are they in?
The NFC South.
Let's take a look at the NFC. Oh, that's got the Falcons in it, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I had it, and then it. Oh, here we go. NFC South.
Yeah.
God, I'm so confused by all of this. I don't understand divisions at all. But that's why we got
Tim.
Tim.
Like show it. If you look at it all together, it makes a lot more sense.
I'm good. You can just explain it for me, or not even explain it. But yeah. So in their division, so if they win their division,
they're basically in the playoffs.
What do you mean, basically?
Well, it would take, not to say that they could, like there's certain scenarios where they wouldn't make the playoffs, but they most likely certainly will. Like say there were two teams in the NFC North that were both 12 and 11, and the only loss that they had was to one or another, or something like that. You could see a situation where maybe a team from one division doesn't make it in, but most of the time, 99% of the time, you're going to see one team from each division play in the final rounds of the playoffs.
Dude, I love that bet. So the Saints to win the NFC South, I bet we can bet on that.
Yeah, I would say that's very reasonable.
Dude. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm out of money, but apparently I have a problem because of FanDuel said so. Mm-hmm. They gave me a reality check, so the only logical solution is to deposit more money, right?
Right, I get it. Yeah, you would want to do that. I think that the Saints to win the NFC South is, it's almost a surefire thing. The Falcons are the only ones that can kind of challenge them, and if that's your challenge,
the Falcons,
you probably have it licked.
Get out of here.
Now,
Vegas is seeing the same thing. They are heavily favored to win their division.
I would say so. I would assume so.
I'm not actually going to put
more money in. I mean, here's the thing. Tampa would have to win like 12 games for me to get on board. They would have to be, and I don't know if there's a number of games the Falcons could win for me to get on board. I'm still taking the Saints.
Or to make playoffs, which is basically the same bet.
Pretty much the same thing.
We could go down to what team? It was
the Saints.
New Orleans.
Yep.
To make playoffs. Oh, the odds are even worse somehow.
That's great.
No, that's not great.
Oh, they're even worse. Oh, you mean like
like $1 like 43 cents. But for them to win their division is a 1-on-1. I don't understand why there'd be such a big difference.
Maybe it's just because they're so heavily favored to win their division. So it's almost like guaranteed that they're going to go to the playoffs kind of thing.
Yeah, but to win the division, $1 gets you $1.10.
Right.
For them to make the playoffs, $1 only gets you 43 cents.
Well, maybe it's because they don't necessarily have to win the division to make the playoffs. Like you could still, like if they had a high enough record, they could still potentially be in the playoffs.
That's interesting.
It is, yeah.
Well, anyways, if I had $1, I'd put it on that. Looks like San Francisco is heavily favored to win their division.
Well, here's the thing. It's like, while I might take the Saints to win their division, I would take San Francisco to win their conference. Meaning, I would take San Francisco to win the NFC this year. That's very likely.
Over the Eagles?
Over the Eagles, for sure. Yeah.
I mean,
I think so.
Did the Eagles win it last year?
Yeah. Yeah. I think so, right? No. Who won it last year? Who won the NFC last year? The NFC conference. What is the best team in the NFC in 2022? Oh. No, Kansas City's the AFC. Final power rankings.
Chiefs beat the Eagles.
Okay, so yeah, the Eagles would have been the NFC Conference champions if they had made it to the Super Bowl. Then yeah, for sure.
Either way, $1 wins you like over $3, but either one you pick, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't think I'm taking the Eagles. I think that I'm definitely going with San Fran and Buffalo. You heard it here early. I haven't given up on Buffalo. I still think that they're one of the best teams. But as far as who I think is going to be in the Super Bowl, who I think is going to be in the big dance, I think that it's going to be San Francisco and Buffalo. So.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I'd love to see that.
Defense versus offense.
And we have Buffalo.
Defense usually wins.
Well, we have a running bet with Buffalo. Well, we have a bunch of bets on here now, but if the Bills win the Super Bowl, we win $500. Really $450 because we put $50 down. But it was a plus 900 bet. But it was also with a promotion with every time they win a game, we get a free $5 bet. So hopefully we'll be able to milk that. Yeah. Hopefully they win some fucking games.
That's another thing. That's another reason why I haven't given up on them is because we really need them to win.
But we got Tyreek Hill the Cheetah to score a touchdown. Brock Purdy to rush 25 yards because I'm a crazy motherfucker.
Crazy.
George Kittle also scored a touchdown.
Love it.
George Burrow to throw 275. Just do it, kid.
Come back, kid.
Just do it.
Come back, kid.
Higgins scored a touchdown. Same
Come
thing,
back,
Higgins.
Kid.
Just run out there and just do it, man. Fucking put your Nikes on and do it.
Right. Jamar Chase.
Same thing. Go. Let's go, man. Let's go. Yeah. Montgomery and the Lions. Boom, boom, boom. Easy fucking money. They're Lions against fucking Seahawks. Get them birds fucking out of here.
Right, no way.
They're about to get eaten by a fucking lion.
That's right.
And David Montgomery, who's also going to rush 60 fucking yards. Heard it here betting on balls. Under 41 points. Bears and Bucks.
It's going to be a low-scoring affair. A lot of running in this game.
Boring.
Yeah.
Going to be a boring game. Josh Allen, again, I'm a crazy motherfucker. So, look, I like how my cash out's already down to 85 cents. And even on this next one, 68 cents. But yeah, Josh Allen, run it in.
Run it in,
this
Josh.
Are, parlays are always risky. My biggest thing that I'm concerned about is the Packers against the Falcons because you never know. The Falcons, it's at home at the Falcons. And
these are two NFC teams.
Yeah. So this is not the safest bet, but we got Diggs to score a touchdown, the Lions to win, which I think we bet on earlier. So we got double dipping on the Lions this week, and then we got the Packers.
I think we're double dipping on Diggs too, no? Or was that the only one we went with Diggs? No, the other thing was you were showing me that 4-leg parlay where people were taking Diggs. And,
yeah. I thought we had Diggs. I thought we also had Diggs too, but I think it's probably just part of this parlay.
If you have both of those guys in fantasy today, what a game to watch. That would be awesome. I really wish I had Devontae Adams and Stephon Diggs in the same game.
Well, this is our fantasy this week. We got Mahomes, Waddle, Zay Jones because we're short on receivers because we invested in Cooper Kupp, but he's on the injured reserve, so we're kind of scrambling for receivers right now. So we're just gonna have to see. Zay
Jones looks like he's the number 2, right, in Jacksonville.
Up against Kansas City. It's like a coin toss, I feel like, with this guy.
Yeah. Derrick Henry, like we said, should have a good game today.
Yeah.
Joshua Kelly, guys, if you haven't heard the news, Austin Eckler is doubtful to play. So if Joshua Kelly is out there and he's available to you today, you should probably go get him because he's going to be the premier back.
Joshua Kelly, I don't know shit about him.
Well, he's kind of been waiting in the wings now, I would say, for about 3 years. There was a game where Eckler had gone out. I can't remember when it was, maybe 2 seasons ago. And Joshua Kelly kind of came in and he looked really, really good. So I've kind of just been waiting sort of to see what happens there. And yeah, look at him. He's a very happy guy.
Yeah, handsome young lad.
Yeah, and he's just kind of been waiting for his time to get in there. He actually, even with Eckler last week, he was able to rush and go off for 91 yards. So with nobody else digging into his carries, This guy could be pretty good.
Oh, dude, he's gonna slay.
I think I've always thought of Joshua Kelly as someone who, if he had the lead
and
role,
he's only 51% rostered.
That's what I'm saying. He's still I'm sure there are leagues out there where he's still available and sitting there even right now.
That's crazy.
And so
pick this guy up.
People aren't aware, of the injury yet to Eckler, and so go ahead and get him, pick him up, and get some points out.
We actually probably got to end the stream soon so we can upload it so people have a chance to fucking make all this money. So, we got Kittle, Montgomery, So you're good with this line. This is our line. We're set. Is there anything down here that you like on the bench? We got Khalil Herbert, Gabe Davis, Rashid Rice on the bench. Damian Harris is on the bench.
I think that it all comes down to that second flex position is the only thing I'm not wild about.
Josh Reynolds.
I think that you're just kind of betting on the come that Detroit is as good as they look.
We already have 2 live money bets on Detroit. We're betting on Detroit.
But we already have David Montgomery as well in the flex.
True.
And so we're kind of putting all our eggs into one basket and saying Detroit's just going to have a fucking monster today.
Which is a lot to ask for such a shitty team.
I think that because I'm more likely, I feel like, to go with a Gabe Davis if that's the case. If we're just betting on upside, I feel like Gabriel Davis actually has a higher upside. If I was going to pick a more consistent player as to sort of what I've already talked about today, I would probably run Khalil Herbert. And the reason why, it's defense on defense. It's Tampa Bay meets Chicago today. And so the ball will certainly almost likely get run. Herbert is a guy that has potential to sort of have these really big games. And he's seemingly kind of consistent. Like, he'll get you between 7 to 10 points pretty regularly.
I feel like he's the safe bet.
I think he's the safe bet. I think that Gabe Davis has higher upside.
But it's riskier.
Yeah, slightly riskier.
So this is our matchup. We are highly favored because A.J. Brown only put up 5 points for our opponent last week. Mm-hmm. He also benched a 27-point player.
In Swift, wow.
Yeah. He had a big game.
1 touchdown and then 175 rushing yards. Wow.
Yeah. 3 receptions. We didn't bench anyone so far that put up anything, but that was just the Thursday game. But, we're looking pretty good here.
Well, and one final point, I would say the biggest upside on our bench that if we were sort of...
He does have Ayuk, which if Ayuk does the same thing he did last week, which was like put up 30 points,
right,
then we could be in trouble.
We could be, but David Montgomery, I think, is going to have a good game.
Also, we have Waddle and Mahomes. There's a lot of upside there.
Right, and that's another thing. Potentially with Waddle, we could be looking at that's kind of where we win the game here. Maybe. Now, Patrick Mahomes is going to have to keep up with Tua today, which I don't think is the biggest ask, but it does have to happen.
Right. Oh, yeah. If Waddle goes off, then Tua also will have those points. So it kind of will balance it out.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was our timer. That's betting on balls, y'all.
Betting on balls.
Our time is up. Make some money. Make us proud.
Yeah. Go for it, guys. Go
in. Get what you pay.
You get what you pay here on Betting on Balls.
Betting on balls.
Betting on balls.